Yo, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. My name is LionHeartZ, and today is sticker day. The pick'ems are out. We are 2 days from the opening stage of the major beginning. It's Thanksgiving. I just got done baking a pie. Yes, it's going to be delicious. If you really want to know, it's Joshua Weissman's pecan pie recipe. Look it up. It's fantastic. I would recommend it, like I'm about to recommend to you my pick'ems for the opening stage. We're also going to take a second and go over why I'm making these picks, including the opening round matchups, what you should expect, why the Buchholz system is a goddamn nightmare, and overall, we're just going to talk shop about the major for an amount of minutes. I have no idea how long the video is going to be, but let's not waste any more time. Make sure you guys leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. It helps out immensely in the YouTube algorithm, so thank you for doing it. Also, when the major does kick up on Friday, just like with the RMRs, I will be co-streaming the games live on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/LionHeartZCS2. Drop on by, drop a follow, let's watch the major together, and also consider joining my community Discord, top link in the description, so you can hang out with us, talk about the major, maybe take part in our fantasy league, which we're doing over on HLTV. Regardless, it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you for doing it. Let's go ahead and start talking about the pick'ems. First things first, we're here in game. Obviously, we're doing this live, raw, uncut. That's the new coin for this year. Looking pretty nice. Can't wait to have this baby nice and diamond up when I get all my picks correct. Going over, if you want to pick up the pass, it is $9.99 to get in on the souvenirs. It is $17.99 if you want the 3 extra souvenirs on top, as well as the stickers are now available. We can go ahead and, I believe, preview the stickers if we take a look here. Stickers design is a lot similar to Copenhagen with the borderless background, though we do have a nice Shanghai stylized logo on the bottom. Things are looking pretty good. We got foils, glitters, and hollows just like last year. Honestly, these look pretty good. I think these Perfect World logos actually are going to be pretty popular because they look honestly really good. And yeah, the one thing I am actually really digging about this year's stickers are the autographs. If we go over to the autograph stickers, this year they have a nice team logo backdrop behind them, which I think makes the autographs look a lot better than in most other years, where it's typically more of a plain background. I actually really like the sticker design. I think there's a really cool, nice to see the players getting involved with pretty cool designs. And what I think is actually really dope about this is that Dexter got sex in the game, something all of you have never had. Anyways, with the sticker talk out of the way, let's go ahead and talk about the pick'ems. So some things to note, we are still using the Buchholz system to seed everything past the first round. Buchholz is of course a bit of a nightmare, and if you really don't know how to follow it, I would highly recommend you go to this website right here, majors.im. This is a real-time bracket that you can follow that will show you the Buchholz weighting for the following rounds based on the matchups that you decide to select. It's a great way to keep an eye on things as they go by, as you don't really have this kind of visibility on HLTV or Liquipedia or whatever you may use. So again, I'll leave a link to this in the description, by the way. Whoever set this up, thank you. Been very helpful throughout all of the majors since the Buchholz system came into view. With that, let's go ahead and talk about our opening matchups first, and then we'll talk about how that's going to factor into my decisions when it comes to the pick'ems. So we're in the opening stage. Things are going to begin on Friday, and here are our first slate of games. We have Furia taking on Gamer Legion, VersePro taking on MIBR, Liquid taking on Cloud9, Complexity taking on FlyQuest, Big taking on Passion UA, Fnatic versus Wildcard, the Mongols versus Rare Atom, and Pain versus Imperial. Now, honestly, this is a pretty good slate of first games. The one thing I'm immediately sad about off the rip is Cloud9 taking on Liquid, as those are 2 of my favorites, and having them go against each other right off the rip definitely feels bad, but hey, it is what it is. So, looking at these matchups, how do I think this is going to go? Well, starting at the top, I give Gamer Legion a fair shot to beat Furia, but if Furia comes to play with K-Serato firing on all cylinders, I do think they should be able to beat this game pretty soundly, but I do give Gamer Legion a fair shot at an upset. When it comes to VersePro versus MIBR, as long as James maintains his form from the RMRs where he's looked the best he has all year, I do think VersePro should take care of this game quite handily. VersePro, as much as they routinely hurt me, I do maintain the fact that they should beat lesser teams pretty much all the time. Very rarely are you going to see this team get upset, and with that in mind, I do think they will win this game. After that, Liquid versus Cloud9 is a real toss-up. However, Ultimate has been on a bit of an upward trend, and I do think he struggles against better teams compared to worse teams. I know it's kind of a general statement, but Ultimate was looking really good at the Americas RMR. If he continues to be that version of Ultimate, and Twist still maintains good form, Nafly is still arguably the best part of this team. I do think Liquid can win this game quite handily. For Cloud9, the real answer is going to be, can Heavygon and Icy deliver at a superstar level at the same time? They sometimes are inconsistent around each other and tend to take turns when they decide to carry, but if Icy continues to look lights out like he did at the EU RMR, I do give Cloud9 a fair chance to win this. With all that in mind, I will say Liquid should win this game. Next up, there's really no ambiguity about it. FlyQuest are one of the worst teams in this format. They should be losing to Complexity every single time. Please, God, please don't let Complexity start off the major with a choke. Please and thank you. Next up, we have a rematch from the top game out of the EU RMR B, and that's Big versus Passion. I actually think Passion will get revenge here on Big and surprise everybody by going up 1-0. I think Passion are riding an emotional high off qualifying out of their first goddamn LAN tournament ever. I think they will start off on a heater. Maybe they will peter out later in the bracket, but I think here they'll start strong. Next up, we have a decisively close game, Fnatic versus Wildcard. I give Wildcard the slight edge in terms of total team play, but BlameF is the best player in this server. Fnatic have a fair shot to win this, but I do think Wildcard will start off their major run with a success here and beat Fnatic in a best of 1. Next up, we have a very similar matchup to Complexity versus FlyQuest. We have the Mongols versus Rare Atom. Mongols should be winning this every time. They're the best team out of Asia, and even though Rare Atom went out first place in the Asian RMRs, I do not think they are a better team than the Mongols pretty much at all. And lastly, we have Pain taking on Imperial. Pain has beat Imperial pretty routinely in their domestic games throughout the year. Pain are the better team. Pain should be winning this and going 1-0. What's important about the first round matchups is they pretty much affect our seeding going forward because of the Buchholz score. So if we go back over to our major simulator, if we get the results we want, we now have our potential seeding for the following rounds afterwards. Now from there, it definitely gets more screwy, and at that point it's very hard to predict the outcomes, but overall it gives me a fairly good idea of how I want to approach my pick'ems. If we go back in game, I'm going to start off with my 3-0 advancing teams, then go to our elimination teams, then talk about the 6 teams that'll make it over afterwards. First off, I'm taking Liquid to go 3-0. They are the second best team over the year in this field. They should be going 3-0 every time as long as somebody doesn't choke. Following that, I will take the other best team out of these teams for the year, and that's the Mongols. Mongols are also one of the most consistent rosters in this field. I see them going 3-0 unless something disastrous happens in the best of 3 section. Maybe their advancement game they slip up, but I feel very confident that they will be advancing cleanly to the elimination stage. Next up are 2 teams that should be leaving us first. Obviously, I'm going to go with FlyQuest, the worst team in this field by a large margin. I don't expect FlyQuest to do anything against any of their opponents unless somebody chokes in a major way. I'm going to take FlyQuest to not win a single game at this major. Now, the next team to go 0-3, I think, becomes very, very tricky because we have a lot of volatile teams in this format. So while I would consider teams like Rare, Wildcard, and even Imperial to be some of the weaker teams in this field, I know Imperial and Wildcard are game to upset, especially in the best of 1 section of the bracket. It's Rare that stand out to me as the next worst team behind FlyQuest, simply because they have the least impressive roster via star power of the field. They were impressive in the Asia RMR, but against domestic competition in the weakest region, I do not see Rare being able to do anything against a lot of these teams unless they hit a heater. All that being said, if you decide to pick a Wildcard, an Imperial, a Rare, maybe even an MIBR, I would totally understand your reasoning behind doing so. But with all that being said, I feel very confident that Rare are going to struggle the most out of these remaining teams to make it out of this field with a win. So I'm going to take Rare Atom as my second team to go 0-3. And now we reach the very difficult part. Who out of these teams is going to make it to the elimination stage going 3-1 or 3-2? Well, first things first, give me Complexity. Complexity, right behind Liquid and Mongols, have been one of the best teams of this field. Yes, they're inconsistent. Yes, they routinely hurt me, but I believe in Bubblesj, and he believes in you, and you should believe in me. And they will get through 3-1. They could even go 3-0, depending on how they play with their early form. But Complexity love to lose games at random points. I could see them losing a game or 2 quite easily, but still making it out. Now we're dealing with teams that are going to be much more inconsistent, and I could easily see things falling apart. Out of those remaining teams, Pain strikes me as the most consistent left in this field. Pain Gaming have been strong all year. I want to see them have a good run at this major, and I think against all these teams, they have the best odds of getting through cleanly behind Complexity, so I will be taking Pain Gaming as one of my 3-1, 3-2. After that, once again, Virtus Pro. Could I be burned by Virtus Pro? Yes, it's very likely. However, As long as Pro can stay away from matchups later in the bracket like Liquid, Mongols, Complexity, Pain, these teams are all very beatable for them. I think Jame will actually shock a lot of people and continue his form from the RMRs and have a great individual tournament. Electronic will forever be the coin flip with this roster, but I'm going to bet that Pro will stumble, shit, fart, and come their way into the elimination stage. Next up, I must continue the agenda till the end of time. I'm taking Cloud9 to make the elimination stage, back-to-back majors, when nobody believed they could do it. Bubblesj is a man I trust. He's the man I want to lead Donk in the future. Bubblesj will have a great major. Icy will have a great major. Heavy Guy will have a great major. Cloud9, buy in now. They're going to the elimination stage. At this point, we are left with two incredibly difficult choices to make because all of these teams remaining on the field are relatively similar in terms of skill, results for the year, and their own inconsistencies holding them back. I'm going to start with some teams that I would not expect to be able to make it if we were to simulate this bracket over and over. I'm going to start off first with Big. I think for what they've shown, they've been good at the RMRs, but I do not think they will hold up in this field, and I don't think they have enough firepower to get through some of these better teams if they were to reach the upper brackets early. Maybe they could go through as a 3-2, kind of, tripping their way through some of these lower bracket games. That's definitely possible. But overall, I feel least confident about Big. Furia are a team that should be an easy pick with a top 10 player for the year in Serato, a relatively good system behind them with Fallen. Skulls has made their team noticeably better, but like I always say, betting on Furia is just betting on the stock markets with a blindfold. You're taking a shot in the dark and you're hoping it's going to stick. So if you don't take Furia, I would totally understand it. I, on the other hand, will go ahead and say that Furia should make it out of this field. I'm taking Furia to make it through, probably in the 3-2 bracket if I had to take an educated guess. And now we come down to one last slot. Let me make the case for the fact that I think any of these teams out of Fnatic, Gamer Legion, MIBR, Passion, Wildcard, or Imperial could make it. This is the least confident pick I will make in this video because truly, any of these teams could do it. Gamer Legion show a lot of great stuff. ZTR is the IGL of the future. Flamus looks like the next mid-rifler out of Russia. I think Gamer Legion could absolutely do it. MIBR are going to be the best team in Brazil, but the question is, will they be that right now? I don't know. Will Insani, will Lukowski, will Safe hold up under major pressure? We will see. It's definitely possible. Fnatic, BaitF, the narrative is dead. FlameF is playing incredible. Maddie's is playing incredible. Crims is doing enough. They run a good system behind Body. Knock is a good opper. Fnatic are probably my first reaction pick. Stanislaw is leading one of the best run teams out of all the RMR games I have seen so far. He has led these troops with just absolute refinement, great flash utility, great moments out of their individuals like JBA or Susp or Fozy. They definitely could make it. And then you have just the miracle run out of Passion UA. Jambo looks like a star. Beer has done a great job with the system. They boot camped for 8 months. They could absolutely do it. And Imperial are also quite great. Decenti, no way. These guys are also quite strong. Out of all of these, if I had to pick like a safe pick, I think it's Fnatic. If I had to pick with my heart of hearts, I'm going Wildcard. This is definitely NA bias. This is Stanislaw bias. But I stand by it, damn it. Stan the man. Snakeslaw is here to crush your dreams unless you're a Wildcard fan. Amaranth will get a team into the elimination stage. Mark my words. Anyways, these are my picks for the pick'ems in the first round. I'm going to lock it in. Certified. I'm standing on business. I'm not even going to think about it anymore. Boom. Those are my picks for the pick'ems. Let me know your picks in the comments down below. Get ready for major recaps coming soon. We got so much stuff to cover in the next couple of days, so be ready. Make sure to come watch me live on twitch.tv/LionHeartZ2 for the co-streaming. Shout out to my channel members Justin, Jesse, Furley, Bubblesj, Milan Berta, and Dr. Cocktor. If you want to become a channel member, you can do so at the link in the description. Support me directly. Make sure you leave a like, leave a comment down below, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll catch you guys soon with more major coverage. Peace.